My name is Kaylee Ricks, and I will be talking about a type of technology called standers. There are three different types of standers. You have mobile standers, prone standers, and supine standers. And these standers are used for students with physical disabilities. They increase students' mobility, provide positioning, and they also provide access to activities for students that normally wouldn't be able to necessarily walk around freely on their own or bear weight on their own. Mobile standers have wheels and they support students' mobility, allowing them to be more independent in various activities while strengthening their own motor skills. So the features of the mobile standers, there's a variety of features. You have a communication tray, which allows the student to manipulate objects or participate in activities. You also have arm prompts here that support students' arms. You have optional knee straps, which allow the student extra support in their knees if the students need them. If not, you can remove them. There's a fleecy strap that provides support to the back. You also have a seat pad that provides extra trunk support. You have a wheel lock that allows the mobile stander to be locked in place so that it doesn't move around. There are these removable wheels, so looking at these big wheels, they can be removed if necessary. And you also have casters on the wheels so that the wheels don't move. And there's an accessible deck as well here that allows us easier transfers. So the pricing for these standers include mini standers all the way up to large standers, and the price ranges from $1,760 to $2,920. And as you can see, the smaller the stander, the cheaper it is. But if you add various accessories or different things to the standers, it could increase the price. Next, we have pro standers, and pro standers support students on their stomachs, and these standers require students to bear weight on their arms and hands, and this allows them to develop motor skills. The features of the prone standers, almost similar to the mobile standers. You have a communication tray that allows the students to participate in activities and manipulate objects. You also have a height adjustment here that allows the stander to be adjusted height-wise. You have an angle indicator that just indicates the angle of the stander. You have a crank handle here that moves the stander to a horizontal position. You have a footboard here that allows the student to be supported on their feet. You have casters that will lock the wheels. You also have a nice S-curve frame where the teacher or professional that's working with the student is able to get close to the student because it allows some foot room here for them. The pricing for the prone standers, same as mobile standers, depends on the size. So you have a small prone stander, a medium prone stander, and a large prone stander. And the price ranges from $1,915 to $2,710. Again, depending on the various accessories and so on. Next, we have supine standers, and these standers support students on their back, enabling vertical standing, strengthening core muscles, and improving weight bearing, weight shifting, and trunk control. The features of the supine standers, here you have a fold-down top. This allows students to be supported on their head if necessary. If students don't need support for their head, this can be folded down. You have armrests here for the students if they want armrests. If not, you can move them wherever they need to be. There's laterals here for support. You have an angle adjustment, and you also there's a crank here that you move the supine stander to a horizontal position to allow for easier transfers. You have an S-curve frame that again allows the teacher or professional working with the student to get up and close with the student because of this extra room here. There are casters also on these wheels so that the wheels don't move around, and you have a footboard as well. And there are supports for the students' feet that can attach to this footboard. Again, the pricing for supine standers depends on the size. So there's a small supine stander and a large supine stander. And the price ranges from $2,600 to $4,100. The evidence behind using standers. Standers benefit students' bone density, bowel functions, and allow for increased range of motion. And so if you think about it, students with physical disabilities are typically in wheelchairs and in a sitting position for the majority of the time they're in school or in their daily lives. And so these standers really are beneficial for students to get them up and moving around and getting that blood flowing. It's really great for students to be able to be in a different position than just sitting all the time. It's necessary for students. The positives to using these technologies, there's increased social function. They're able to socialize with peers in ways that they may not have been able to in a typical wheelchair or whatever. They have access to various environments. There's increased blood circulation through vertical positioning. These standers come in various sizes and colors, so students can choose what type of color they want, and depending on the student's size, that's very beneficial that they come in different sizes. Accessories can also be modified for each student, as I said before. The negatives to using these technologies include high cost, and they could be difficult to transport in vehicles, depending on how much you want to bring these standers to the various locations that the student goes. Sometimes students might buy a stander for home and have one in school. That way you don't have to transport. It's a high cost, but it's very beneficial for these students. So the positives outweigh the negatives. And I got all of this information from riftin.com.